2025 wasn't my fastest year. It was a year everything changed. And not because I had a breakthrough. Actually, the opposite. Most of you know my dream, running the Olympic marathon. But this year, I made the least progress time-wise. I quit a 10K in October, I didn't start my half marathon in November, and I didn't start CIM in December. And if you've seen my video about quitting my 10K after removing my hormonal IUD, you know that played a huge role. But the truth is, something much deeper shifted. This was the first year I finally understood why I kept holding myself back. If you know my story, how I push in school, the gym, running, you either think I'm intense or you see yourself in me. I always worked hard. Cold, dark, tired, I still ran. I never missed workouts unless I was seriously injured. And the narrative I carried was, this is what it takes to go to the Olympics. Second place is losing. Don't be weak. That mindset got me far. But it also came from fear. Fear that if I didn't do everything perfectly, I'd prove to myself and to others that maybe I wasn't good enough. And that fear actually kept me from pursuing running earlier, even though I knew I was good at it. I was scared of finding out I didn't have what it takes. So I pushed harder, not from confidence, but from fear. Looking back, it makes sense why I kept breaking down, physically and mentally. Yes, I had a coach, and yes, I followed the smart training structure on paper, easy runs, threshold runs, long runs, all the things you're supposed to do. And yes, stress fractures happen even with good training. But in my case, the pattern was bigger. I kept choosing short-term validation over long-term progress. I always added a little more, always pushed a little harder, and always chased that feeling of I did everything. No one can say I didn't give it my all. But running isn't math. And that's a mistake so many runners, myself included, fall into. We love spreadsheets, we love structure, and we love control. We love the illusion that if we hit every box, the outcome is guaranteed. But the best runners, they know something most of us don't. Training isn't about executing a perfect plan. It's about making the right decision on imperfect days. And that was not me. Not at all. This year forced me to confront myself, not my potential, but my patterns, the way I approach training, the pressure I put on myself, the beliefs that were driving me. For the first time, I saw the truth. I wasn't giving myself the chance to become the runner I wanted to be because I was so busy trying to prove I was already that runner. Real growth isn't about pushing harder. Real growth is about being willing to pull back even if it makes your ego scream. And here's what that looked like. When I was tired, I ran slower. When something felt off, I got on the elliptical. When I slept terribly, I either skipped the run or I went shorter, and I fixed the root cause, and I tried again the next day. Those choices used to terrify me. Now they empower me. And you know what's wild? My body started responding so much better. My mind felt calmer, I recovered faster, I felt stronger, not because I pushed through everything, but because I finally stopped fighting my body. For the first time, I'm building real momentum, the kind that lasts. My athletes who thrive long term, they don't have perfect weeks. That's the truth. They have flexibility, they adapt, they make smart calls when things aren't ideal. That's what builds greatness. Not forcing perfection, but navigating imperfection. And once I understood that, I realized something really important. Most runners aren't struggling because they lack motivation. They're struggling because no one ever taught us how to train with purpose instead of panic, how to actually work with our body instead of fighting it, which leads me to something I really want to talk about. I see so many runners buying gear and hoping it will make them faster, when what they really need is a plan that builds them on purpose, not by accident. And look, I know I'm another creator selling something. I honestly never thought I'd be doing this, but the reason I make these videos and the reason I built my running plans and the reason I started coaching is because I'm genuinely so passionate about teaching you how to train the right way. a way that keeps you healthy and actually gets you faster over time. And my plans aren't cheap, and that's intentional because I don't want you to buy something on a whim and give up when it gets hard. Because heart rate training is not a quick fix. It's committing to the slow, steady work that actually changes you. You will run slower at first. You will question the process. You will wonder if everyone else knows something you don't. And at some point, you'll probably think, Caroline, is this even working? But that's exactly how the process works, even for me. I ran my first marathon in 3 hours and 5 minutes, and I was still running 8 to 9 minutes per kilometer on my easy days. And people thought it was ridiculous. But I hadn't built my low heart rate engine yet, and you can't skip that part. You can only build it. So, two things that make my coaching and training plans different. Number one, I train by time instead of distance because distance punishes slower runners and pushes them into overtraining. And number two, I train by heart rate instead of pace because pace is external and heart rate is internal. So heart rate shows how hard your body is working. And if you comment heart rate below, I'll send you my full guide. It's one of the most underrated tools in running, in my opinion. And if you want a training method that matches your goals, your life, and your physiology, all my running programs are linked below. They're generally what I wish I had when I started. This year humbled me. It frustrated me. It made me question so much, but it also opened the door to a healthier, stronger, more grounded version of myself. And I think that version, the one who knows how to navigate imperfection, is the one who has a real shot at the Olympics. So thank you for being here through a messy, transformative year. Here's to a smarter, stronger, healthier 2026 for both of us.